The Dirty Reiver is a 200-kilometre gravel race with 3,000 metres climbing. And when I say gravel race, it was 99% off-road, didn't see much tarmac, which for me was a bit of a challenge as that was easily the most amount of off-roading I've ever done in my life. The course is designed to favour gravel bikes, and I borrowed this, which is the Raleigh Roker Race. The Raleigh Roker Race comes with Shawber G1 gravel-specific tyres, which are 35mm wide. Also comes with a SRAM Force 1x11 group set and hydraulic discs. The frame is carbon, it's got a super low bottom bracket and a really relaxed head tube to favour gravel riding. The Dirty Reiver is held up in Kielder Forest, which is in Northumberland, on the English and Scottish border. It was held in April, and although I was expecting it to be a little bit chilly, I wasn't expecting to wake up to -1, frost, and experience snow, sleet, hail, rain, pretty much name a type of weather we saw it that day. At 200 kilometres as well, it was long even on tarmac, so to be entirely off-road, it was a tough day on the bike. So a bit about me, I am 100% roadie. I think the last mountain bike I owned was when I was about 12. So by choosing this bike, it was sort of the closest thing I could get to a road bike that would be able to handle with the conditions. I was a little bit ill in the week leading up to it, so I was a bit nervous about how my body was going to cope. But I was pretty confident in the bike, so I was looking forward to spending a full day on it. And the first section of gravel didn't really disappoint. It never felt out of place off-road. The balance of the bike is great. Well, on any bike really, you would feel a little bit nervous about chucking it down at sort of 50, 60, 65k. On very loose gravel. But as I mentioned earlier, the low bottom bracket and the slack head tube angle really gets the weight back on the bike, and I was crossing over from tyre track to tyre track and felt super confident that I wasn't going to lose control. There was times I could even take my hands off the bars, which those sort of speeds on that sort of terrain takes a lot of confidence. So the 1042 cassette was pretty clunky, but that's pretty massive range at the same time. I think if it maybe went down to 38, possibly 36, obviously the range would be a lot closer and it might not be quite so clunky getting all the way across the cassette. Being a pretty traditional roadie, I've never actually used discs before. They're very, very, very consistent, which I think is the main benefit to them, and especially over this sort of surface where you're regularly going to lock up. The discs perform superbly. I'd definitely consider using them on my road bike. Probably only for my winter bike when it gets a bit horrible on the roads. So one of the weight-saving measures of this bike is the carbon SRAM Force cranks, which look great and they definitely add to the lightness of the bike, but on a gravel race, carbon cranks aren't a great idea. They got chipped to pieces as I was constantly hitting rocks throughout the day. If I was going to ride the event again, there'd be a few changes I'd make, which are sort of some my own downfall and some are just simple changes of the bike. I'd definitely run the tyres at slightly less pressure. I'd say 35 psi is much more sensible than 45. I'd get rid of those carbon cranks, put in some alloy ones. I'd make the cassette range a little bit smaller, hopefully get rid of some of that clunkiness, and I'd definitely double wrap the bar tape. So we'll be sending this bike back after today, and I will miss it because I had some emotional times during the Dirty Reiver. But one word I would use to describe this bike is fun.